buddy. It's going to be a scorcher today. 5 in the morning. And it's already 98 degrees. Yep, this day lived up to its name, I'll tell you. It is officially 112 degrees out at the airport, but down here, let me see, 121 on the pavement. 121 degrees on the pavement. Yikes. Whew. Good and hot. I suppose you could say it's constantly hot because it was already hot this morning. We took off, it was 98 degrees. Woo, buddy. If it was not for this shirt, this water shirt I have on, yeah, I'd be pretty freaking miserable right now. I'm not quite sure if it's a good idea to pick up my speed a little bit and just try to terminate how much exposure I have to the elements today a little quicker, or if I should just back off and take it a little easier since the bike is going to be under stress from all the extra heat. Some people think it's too hot to pay attention. All right, we get to keep moving. So at this point, just to keep from getting too hot, at least we get to keep moving a little bit. Some of the zombies are already asleep today. For those of you unfamiliar with my riding antics, I refer to cagers a lot of times around here in Tucson as zombies, because they just seem to move about traffic aimlessly. You know, half the time they're not in enough of a hurry to drive the speed limit or be bothered with things like turn signals or looking before they switch lanes. And then the other half of the time they're in such a damn hurry they want to run you off the road at every opportunity. So yeah, it's hot. Okay, one thing the cool shirt does not help with, sitting still in traffic, that's for damn sure. So just a couple of observations from the motorcycle here in the heat. Right now, the temperature gauge on the bike isn't showing me that it's any hotter than it normally is when it's at operating temperature. When it's at operating temperature, the little LED stack over here is about level with the top of the gear indicator. So that's where it still is. So that's where it's remained. So this thing seems to be pretty consistent with keeping its temperature. But I haven't noticed the bike behaving any differently in the high temps and the extreme temps, as some people would say. 121 degrees out here on the pavement, some people would say that is fairly extreme. I don't know. It doesn't seem to drive or handle any differently than it did when I was driving it in below freezing. When it was like 15 degrees out. The thing is, the fan is on, and I can really feel it more on my right-hand side than I can on my left. I can feel some of the heat on the left through my jeans. These are riding jeans. They got Kevlar lining and knee and hip pads and all that good stuff. But I can feel the heat on the right-hand side, and that might have more to do with the exhaust header pipe and the catalytic converter than it does with the fan pushing the heat off of the engine. But I've not noticed any sluggishness with the bike. Remarkably, this thing runs the same in 15 degree temperatures versus 115 degrees. I think the bike can definitely handle the endurance stuff. The good news is it's going to cool down tomorrow. In the morning it should be down to 80 degrees, and by the time I go home in the afternoon it'll only be up to 108, and that's 108 air temperature. Usually translates to about 5 or 6 more degrees higher at the ground, but being that we're at 121 right now, I would say that would be a remarkable improvement. You wouldn't think there's much of a difference between 108 and 117, but there's a difference. There's a difference. So are you a bicycle or a pedestrian, right? We're constantly lectured in this town about bicycles and watching out for them and how they get to share the road. Remarkably, they interchange themselves between pedestrians and vehicles on the road. For example, that lady back there, so she's riding on the sidewalk like she's a pedestrian. She's using the crosswalk and not walking the bike across, riding it across against traffic, and then flipping all the lights with the crosswalk switch. So everything other than actually being a pedestrian would indicate that she's a pedestrian. However, the moment it's convenient for her, she'll pop back down into the roadway and insist that people give way for her rights as a vehicle on the road, as the law allows. And that's part of the frustration, because you never see where these people are going to pop out. I know there's going to be all sorts of cyclists that jump on this, and this is one of those trigger issues, I guess they call it nowadays. But you know, if you're going to ride in the roadway and you're going to make it that way, then adhere to all the rules, same as everyone else. If you're going to play pedestrian, then be a pedestrian. But hopping off of curbs and jumping out into the street and being a pedestrian 1 second, vehicle the other, and then back to pedestrian, you're setting yourself up for injury there. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Sound like Forrest Gump, but man, it's hot, and my brain ain't quite working when it's hot. So listen up. If you guys have a chance to ride, get out and do it. Lots of folks that can't. So if you can get out and ride, go out and do it by all means. If you're going to ride in this stuff, make sure you're watered up. Man, I pushed water all day today. I drank almost a gallon of it, even though I was inside most of the day, just anticipating this ride home. You do not want to get dehydrated. The importance of being hydrated on a motorcycle, even with this wet shirt on, you know, when the wind is hitting you and it's tearing through, it's just peeling the moisture right out of your skin when you don't even know it. Very, very important to stay hydrated. So if you can go out and ride in this, definitely make sure you're hydrated. And if you're over in England, you might need to pick up some wider boots for your webbed feet. I don't even understand how a place could have so much rain. Of course, my signal was on for making this lane change. What an idiot.